you know what? Oh, hi, Jake. Do you know what? The thing is, the government, the Conservative government, have been weak and socialist, and they haven't done anything. They've been inactive, and they've not been a very good government. And they've also lied to us. Remember, immigration is ruining this country. They said they'd stop illegal immigration, and they'd get legal immigration down to tens of thousands, and they've lied to us, and they haven't done it. But for anyone out there that's thinking that a Labour... Why would anyone think that voting Labour is going to solve any of our problems? It's going to make everything worse, and I'll tell you why. Because you're going to get more mass immigration. They're going to drag us back to the EU kicking and screaming. You're going to get more woke agenda. You're going to get more green agenda, more ULEZ, more green restrictions. It's going to get worse.
Daniel, who are you going to vote for then?
I'm going to vote Reform, but if you look at... I'll give you an example. Look at everything that Labour runs. It turns to you-know-what. London's a toilet. Wales is mismanaged. You've got Birmingham City Council. They're all broke. Why would you vote for Labour when everything they run is abysmal?
Well, it's hard to disagree with you, Daniel, but I just say, do you think Reform have got the right ideas to change the country for the better?
I think what they'll do is they'll make the actual Conservative Party take a step back and actually get rid of half of them that are weak, centrist and socialists, and come back as a force and come back as an actual right-of-centre Conservative Party, because when you've got the two options in the way our political system works, it's broken. And the majority of people in this country we've given the current government explicit instructions to do many things, and they've not done it. And Labour will only make things worse. We have to have a right-of-centre government that we voted for. And if
Daniel,
you can't do
thank you. It's time.
I
get what you're saying. You don't like these chinos, as Liz Truss calls them, the Conservatives in name only. Thank you very much for calling into the show. Really interesting to hear from a Reform voter there. Stella, do you agree with them?
So I have a lot of sympathy for what this caller was saying, because I do understand when you are looking at the political party system and you're saying it's broken and you have no trust that anyone is going to do anything different. I have a lot of sympathy for that. But I do think I want to say it's unfair when Labour has not been in power for 15 years to say everything they run doesn't work and
he gave some examples. He said he was unhappy with London. Daniel said Wales was falling behind. He gave some Birmingham City Council's gone bankrupt. He did give some examples.
Well, we can name Tory councils that have gone bankrupt as well. Thorough.
Yes. Loads more councils are going to be bankrupt in the next year. It really is not something that has to do with the political party. I'm sure there is.
But isn't that the problem, though, Stella? Because actually, there's 2 points to think about here. So first of all, even if we have a Labour government, there is no magic wand. If there was a magic wand in British politics, Rishi Sunak would be waving it frantically now, wouldn't he, fixing all the ills. If Labour come into power, and if you believe the opinion polls, that's likely, the fundamental fact is that we're an ageing population. We've spent £400 billion on COVID. There are wars and energy crisis around the world. Labour isn't coming up with something really radical to change this. They're just sort of saying, well, we'll change the management and things will get better. I just don't accept they will, actually.
Yeah, and I understand that. I honestly do. But at the same time, you cannot blame the Labour Party when you're looking at...
But you can't really... If you're being honest, Stella, look, I know you're a former Labour advisor, but if you're being honest, you can't really blame the government for COVID. You can't really blame the government for Ukraine.
You can blame them for austerity and mismanagement,
inflation,
grave mismanagement.
Well,
you can,
maybe so.
I think the problem for Labour is, obviously, things can only get better was the famous song and slogan and feeling in 1997. I think the problem is the Labour government's going to get elected on a feeling that things can't get any worse, or, that you can't do a worse job. So, I mean, I think that is the issue of, whether it's going to be a sort of a government starting in hope or starting in despair with a sort of national mood is a big question.